Hello, welcome to the Textilers training for the cohort 6. Before we move on, we just want to have us see that yes, we are at the tech deep dive cohort 6, and this is going to be focusing on Microsoft 365 Copilot and AI track, to be precise. So before we go into the business of today, I want you to remember the housekeeping rule. The session, as you can already see, is being recorded and will be made available for future viewing. And you are to mute your mic when you are not speaking. But right now, I think everyone's mic is disabled by default. But if at any point you still need to speak, you may just want to raise your hand for us to admit you, enable mic for you so they can speak. But the more important thing is that you should pen down your question until the Q&A session. And then we'd encourage you to follow us on our social media handles. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well to keep up to date on all our events. Okay, so it's very important that we take time to look at the code of conduct for this engagement. We encourage respectful listening. We should try as much as possible to avoid blame, speculation, or any kind of inflammatory language. We also encourage to allow everyone to have a chance to speak, and also try to avoid assumption about others, mainly based on their perceived social group or whatever attribute you want to give to anyone speaking. And then we also encourage you to increase your participation and then the sharing of ideas as well as your perspective. Try to promote openness to points of view and increase learning. Prevent conflicts as much as possible, as well as misunderstanding. Those should be far from us. And then we're encouraged to manage problems before and as they occur. Then build trust and a sense of safety among group participants. Criticize ideas if you need to, but don't criticize individuals. Be committed to learning, and then debating is actually allowed, but let's be very objective. Then listen respectively and respectfully and actively. So these are the code of conduct. Now we are moving gradually into the business of today. And what's our agenda? We are going to be looking at the intro to Microsoft 365 Copilot, which I believe MJ had touched last week. However, we are just now going to narrow it down to what concerns us in this track. So what is Microsoft 365 Copilot? The Microsoft 365 Copilot system, then how to get started with Microsoft 365 Copilot, and then how Microsoft 365 Copilot works. Then we look at the core components of the M365 Copilot workload. And then we look at, very importantly, the responsible AI in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Then we can take questions thereafter before we close for the day. So this is just going to be, just to give like a general comment about this. I mentioned to you that from the very beginning, we were introduced to generally to AI, right? And then Lekon has gone very deeply to explain a lot of things to us. And then last week also, if you were here in the class, MJ also went very, very detailed in terms of what Copilot is, in terms of adopting Copilot, in terms of extending Copilot, in terms of building your own Copilot. MJ did a lot of that. Then the focus of today's one is to further narrow it down to M365 Copilots. Now, generally, one thing that you should take away from this very first point or beginning of our presentation today is that Copilot can be seen as the UI for AI. So UI is the user interface for artificial intelligence, right? So this is where you get to see the sweetness behind that comes out for you to have encounter with without paying much attention to what happens at the back end, right? So it is actually the UI for AI, and this is what users get to interact with, and that's why our focus is going to be more on this user's experience while using Copilot. Now let's calm down a bit. Just want to pick my laser and let's see, because at this point I need to slow down some things. I know that we've learned a lot regarding the theory, but now that we are narrowing it down, it is very important that we focus more on some terms that we should reference. Microsoft 365 Copilot is an AI-powered assistant that's integrated into Microsoft 365 applications. So you already know, just because of those who may not really know what Microsoft 365 is, it is better that we explain it a bit so that you don't just hear the word Microsoft 365 Copilot and we are saying integration into applications that perhaps some persons don't even know, right? So Microsoft 365 is a subscription-based model of the conventional Office applications and then plus other cloud services, right? So Microsoft 365 encompasses the traditional Word, right? PowerPoint, Excel, and just name it, incorporated there, and some other special features like OneDrive, talking about SharePoint, and the like coming into play with Microsoft 365. So if Microsoft 365 deals with those applications, right, including Teams, right, coming on, now we're talking about Copilot as an AI-powered assistant. And now the AI-powered assistant is woven into those applications that you traditionally know, like the Word, like the Excel, right? And then we'll come out to look at Outlook, and then we'll talk about Teams. Even if we talk about SharePoint also, we can talk about Microsoft Forms, Planner, To Do, and all of that. Microsoft Copilot, 365 Copilot has woven itself into all those applications. That's why we're saying that Microsoft 365 is an AI-powered assistant that is integrated into those services. So it uses large language model, right? So this is something that we have dealt with like last week and last 2 weeks. And then, so the large language model like the ChatGPT 4, then combined with your data in Microsoft Graph, right? Which we are going to see when we look at how Copilot works. We'll look at how it reaches out to Microsoft Graph to spool information and check compliance before it releases, whatever information that you are querying from the system, right? So, so it uses Microsoft Graph to have access to provide responses from your emails, from the documents you have on your OneDrive, on your SharePoint, from your calendar that you have in Outlook. And all of this is to help you write. You may want to use it to write, to summarize, right? You may also want to use it to analyze. In terms of Excel, for instance, you can use it to analyze. And not just in Excel only, you could even, use your natural language to ask it to help you give, to give you an output, to give you a perception into a particular, theory or particular information that you have. And then one of the nice things is that it can also help you automate your tasks. So the things that you do on a daily basis, Copilot can actually help you automate those. So it works securely. That's the word, very important, because when we get into the responsible AI also, we are going to be talking about the security, the concepts around security with Microsoft 365 Copilot. So it works securely within your organization's data environment, enhancing productivity while keeping your information private and protected. So that said, we look at how Microsoft 365 Copilot works. So at this point, we really need to calm down, right? So the thing is, it is an intelligent part. It's like an intelligent partner in Microsoft 365. So when we say pilot is the person, flying, let's say a plane, right? And then co-pilot is the assistant, like a personal assistant to the person who flies the plane. So it's an intelligent partner, and that's why it's a co in Microsoft 365. So generates new content, then it offers relevant suggestion when it has to, then enhance productivity definitely, right? And then it understands your context, right? The way you do your things can really be understood. Then analyzes content that you are pushing, the question that you are requesting, and then gets context from your work data, right? And then transforming your work processes for you, then help you to search and retrieve and retrieve information using a lot of features that we want to look at now. So how does it even work generally? So the steps are like 5 steps generally that governs how you prompt and how you get your response, right? So number 1 is you as a user from the UI, from the user interface, you kind of type in a prompt, right? So user prompts are sent to Copilot. So when you do your prompt, the step 1 has taken place, right? So what happens next in the 2 is that the Copilot accesses the graph, and if it needs to access the web. So when we are building, we can maybe demonstrate with a very simple agent today. You will see that we can optionally ask our agent to source information from the internet if we want to open it to information on the internet. We can also decide to close it to say, no, just remain within this database or knowledge base, right? So, but that's why we are saying it's optional for you to say, okay, we have Copilot accessing graph to go and check. Why is it going to graph, right? And if there are other sources also, just trying to undergo what is called grounding, trying to get like the best of information for you. Then the third point that will happen is that Copilot will send modified prompts to LLM, large language model, and then the Copilot again, the LLM will help to analyze what you've sent in, and Copilot will receive the information in the 4th step, right? So when the information is received, what happens is that the compliance and the compliance and security now comes to play for Copilot to access graph to quickly know what is happening. Is this person really having the permission to access this particular file? At least they read access to this file before it can, give the output of that to the user, right? So, for example, you build an agent, and then you have you use the knowledge base of maybe one of the document libraries to create an agent, and then you are sharing the agent with someone to have access to it. If the person goes to open the agent, nothing stops the person from opening the agent, from typing in what the person wants to query. Let's say you have like HR, like what we are going to see, like HR agents, right? And then the person is trying to type in response to say how many days leave do I still have, or how many policies do we have in this organization, right? So when the person is typing, no problem. But when the person pushes out that prompt to the system goes to the LLM to go and modify the prompt for a proper understanding. And then when the LLM is responding to Copilot, before Copilot can release that information to the user prompting that, it will go check the SharePoint site where the database is housed to confirm if the user has access to the information sitting in that SharePoint site. And if the user does not have at least the read permission, then it's not going to get the outcome from that prompt. So that's what we're trying to say, because there are arguments around data management, and I think that's even what even prompted the release of the SC401, so that it can capture the security and the compliance part of data management as it has to do with AI generally, and especially because now that people are building agents every morning, right? So now there are core components of Microsoft 365 Copilots, and these are no longer news to us here because we have overflogged, I would say, overflogged all these. Now, large language model, so this understands and generates human-like text. Then Microsoft Graph. So Microsoft Graph is, I want you to look at Microsoft Graph as the web. I mean, when I say web, I mean the cobweb, right? That holds everything together, that holds all your accounts, your emails, your documents, your calendar, that houses, that hold them together, that interconnect them to relate to you, to know that whatever document, whatever files that are there, then the level of your access can be the read access, can be edit permission or modified permission, can be just restricted view, which is like view without being able to download all those permissions and everything that has to do with that. It is the graph that helps you, web everything together. Then we spoke about app integration in person, the previous slide. App integration really is talking about how Copilot embeds itself into all these applications that you have access to in Microsoft 365. And one very important thing to mention also, not like we are sounding like a broken record, is the security part and the compliance part. So this builds on Microsoft Enterprise. Microsoft 365 Copilot is built on the Microsoft enterprise grade protection. Then there is orchestration layer too as another component, and this helps to coordinate AI and data and app interactions. So now there is something we need to know. Last week we spoke about the Copilot experiences across Microsoft Cloud, and we're able to explain deeply, or the trainer that day was able to explain to us deeply that there are three categories. There is one for those who are now using or adopting Copilot, or will I say using Copilot generally. There can be like three classification of users. There are people who know no code at all, who are not coders. They are not close to anywhere called coding, right? And there are like people who have like the low code idea, like those who can build like the traditional Power Apps applications, and they have like a bit of knowledge around coding, right? And then there are others who are pro coders, right? So some people who are into pro coding, who are professionals in terms of coding also. So these are like classes of individuals that can be using Copilots. So adoption means that you are just embracing it and then you are utilizing Copilots just as it is given to you, right? You don't have to modify the shape, the colors. You just accept it the way it is, and then you keep using it, right? Then for those who want to extend, they can extend it through low-code development, through plugins, message extension, or even connectors. And as many as the connectors that you have in Power Automate works also with the M365 Copilot. So that situation where you are trying to push Copilot a bit beyond what is given to you is that you are extending it. Now, beyond extending the Copilot that you have access to, you can also build your own Copilot with customizable Azure AI service through the AI Foundry or the Microsoft Copilot Studio. You can actually use that to build your own Copilot. Now, while talking about adoption, it's a very critical conversation, right? Because Microsoft, I'm just trying to pull up a tab here now, because I know that I have read through a lot of things that would actually open your eyes if you have the time to look through that website and take it down one after the other. And it is adoption.microsoft.com. So this is actually a very, very interesting website that if you really have the time to look through it, you'll find a lot of value in it. Drive value with Microsoft 365 Copilot, or apologies, drive value with Microsoft 365 user enablement tools, right? So if you scroll down here, you will find out view user enablement resources by product, right? So here you have Microsoft 365 Copilot there, just sitting there on its own. Then you have the Microsoft 365, you have Microsoft Planner, you have Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Adoption Scores, you have SharePoint Premium, and so on, right? But our major focus today, you can even go down the site to see like more other information. But our major focus today is on the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So I'm going to click on it, right? So if I click here, I also have, this is now saying that Microsoft 365 Copilot, that this deliver values and value and employee satisfaction with our tools for Microsoft 365 Copilot charts, Microsoft 365 Copilot and agent development and adoption, right? So we spoke about development just now, we spoke about adoption as well. So this powerful technology combines the power of large language model, which we have already introduced, with your organization data, which is talking about the Microsoft Graph, right? All in the flow of work to turn your world into one of the most powerful productivity tool on the planet. So all that is information for us. Now, if you come here, right, if you scroll down here, you see Copilot charts, you see Microsoft 365 Copilots, and then you have AI agents. So so if you come here, right, you see like a lot. You see the Copilot Chat Success Kit. So if you come here, you're going to get a kit that's going to guide your IT control setup, just generally giving you like governance, and then interaction scenario. Libraries are here for you to explore, and then implementation guide. So for Copilot charts, if you come here and then you click here, it will download a file for you, and that file is very, very, very detailed. So I'm just showing you this because I'm not sure there is a way we can finish up all of this today, right? So but if I show you where to get them, then it is easy for you to go get those information. So this is implementation framework, and then you just look through it, the AI adoption curve. Then you have a lot of information here, introducing Microseries 5 charts, which we are going to look at. And then this is about 27 slides altogether. Nice information that you can use to prepare implementation of Copilot. Spoke to the leadership, the human chain, the technical readiness, and all of that. So this information are available all there for you to just go to that website and look at, identify initial high value Copilot scenarios and all of that. So I would minimize this and then come back here, right? So if you come here, you see getting ready, you see the onboarding and engagements, how it is not how it is not about AI, it's about the trust and a lot of other things. So if you come to Microsoft 365 Copilots, you will also see Copilot success kits. We see interactive scenario libraries that you can go through, the new people skill and the skill agent. So there is always like loads of information. Apart from the leadership, there is user enablement plans also that you can look at, the technical readiness also. So you would have a lot to look at. That's why I was saying that you need, like, if you want to really explore, this is just like a home for you after this training, and you can really find your hands very strong. And the good thing about this is not that AI is new. Lekon has explained to us that AI has been, but in the recent times, because of a lot of advancements in AI, it is now becoming like a new talk of the town. So it means that if you go into all these as somebody coming here to take some time to train or to receive trainings, it can really be very helpful to you to contribute to the community, to boost your curriculum vitae with the information you're going to be getting from this. But another point that is very important is the AI, the agent part of that website, right? So if you come down, there's one particular very useful um, PPT that I have that I discover here, right? And I will encourage us to have it, especially when if you are building agents, just like we are going to do now. So if you come to that site and then you come down here, you're going to see agent overview guide. So this is also going to be a PPT. So if you download this, right, it's a lot of information for you. Now, sometimes I wonder who produces these documents and then make them available for free, right? And this we are going to make use of now because it is part of what we are supposed to learn today. I'm just opening it and it's just trying to open on the other screen. Okay, so this is it. Agent overview guide, right? So this is the overview. Let me enable edit so that I can copy something from it. So overview guide, and then you come down to low code option for creating agents. I'm sure that this is going to be small at your end, but you can just follow the steps to download it and look at it. Then if you come down here, it will explain to you what agents are, right? Examples of agents, the simplest way to get started with agents. Then once enabled by an admin, users can mention the agent in Copilot chat or open it directly by selecting it from the right-hand side. Now, there are different types of agents that you can have access to in Microsoft 365. So there are like pre-built agents that are of Microsoft, that are of third party that you can have access to in M365 Copilot. But I think this is not going to be like the step where we are going to be looking deep into this. So I'll just come back to my slide real quick. I think we were talking about this part, right? So I'm just going to continue. We'll come back to that. I just wanted you to see how you can really access the information that speaks about adoption, that speaks about more about adoption, because that's going to be our focus in this training. The other people in Jesri's class and Foin, right, will be dealing more on extending Copilots. Okay, so now the next question is, who uses Copilots, or who uses Microsoft 365 Copilots? How is it even relevant to people, right? So who uses? One, customer service. Customer service uses Copilots. What do they use it for? It serves as service knowledge base and service question and answers. So it actually helps to lower resolution time for tickets, right, that people will normally raise to customer support. Then it gets precise answer faster based on specific deployment documents. Then sales also is not out of it. The people in sales use it for product catalog, and then for proposal template also. Copilot is going to be very useful, which you would see in the next training when Jerry will be coming up with how to use these tools in details in different workloads that we've already introduced. Then increase sales and conversation rates, propose product model, and based on specific criteria along with recommended alternative options. That is speaking to sales, right? How what you build, agents that you build from Copilot can really help. And beyond agents, they can really be helpful to you even in mere chatting with the Copilot directly, which we're also going to be looking at. Then finance too can be very useful to people in finance to help them with accounting, with policy, with question and answers, with expenses, so long they have proper documentation and way to structure their files to respond to the queries that they will be, the prompts that they will be writing. Then lower analysis cycle time. That's going to be like the advantage to people in finance. Then for marketing also, it can also serve as brand guidance, audience personas, then product feedbacks analysis. It can really be helpful to those in the product analysis. The marketing team. Now for HR, which is going to be like one of the examples that we are going to have today. So we may just be building one very small agent quickly on this call, just to make sure that we see how you can actually use Copilot to help your employees during onboarding, right? Then we can look at policy Q&A too, right? So we may just be combining these two, the employee onboarding and then the policy Q&A, just to see how it works for the HR people. Then, so that means that somebody in HR really need to know how to do this. And why we say it's adoption is because he or she does not even need to know how to code. Like non-technical people can really automate things, right? That will make life easy for them with the help of M365 Copilot. Then what about those in legal? They are not left out. Those in legal units actually can use it for regulatory question and answers. Then for contract templates, they can really put them together, use like comparison and all of that, right? To give them insight of what they need to, come up with. Then what about IT? Like you can just simply build Copilot if you have like internal tools, right? That has internal troubleshooting, not publicly available documents, right? So building or using Copilot or building agents to help you with quicker resolution that can mean that you are trying to maybe have a database where you save all the issues that you've resolved, the resolution steps, and then so that when something similar is happening, you can just quickly go there to, request, prompt Copilot to ask for a resolution if an issue is like this, and you can have that interaction through what is called natural language processing, right? So just to move on is Copilot charts, and we're going to hold our break here a bit and then go back to the adoption.microsoft.com, because Copilot charts again is one other big conversation that sometimes it looks a bit confusing to people. And I'm sure that, in my opinion, that relating to Microsoft Chat, I think Microsoft is still a bit confused on how to really handle this in terms of paid and then the free, all of that. Maybe I'm not just getting it like very, very straight, but somehow when you look into some details, you find that, hey, what's really happening here? But we are going to be looking at things like that. So what is Copilot charts? Right, so I'm going to I'll come back to this, right? I'm just going to end this one now, and then let me see if I can pull up something real quick. Okay, that should be this one. Okay, don't worry, I'll just pull something else in here. So we are talking about Copilot charts, right? So if I come here to my browser and I type in office.com, right? So I'm going to have something. So in my office.com environment, I would have access to all the applications that I am licensed for, okay? And then one good thing about this now and just recently is that down here, I will have, excuse me. Apologies, I think I'm having. Okay. So Jerry, can you confirm that you can still see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Apologies, guys. I had a bit of disconnections from my blog. Okay, so that's cool. So if I come here, I will see Copilot and I will see work and we see web, right? And then if I come here, come here, I come here. I'm also going to drag this one here now. If I go to office.com, okay, so I would also see similar thing. Just watch out for something that looks a bit different, right? Okay, so I want that to come on. So if you look at this, I see Copilot here, and I see it as Copilot charts. Okay, it's still loading, and you would discover that if I come here to Copilot, if I come here to Copilot, I see that I just have Copilot, right? Okay, the work and web, if I split this screen, I'm not sure if it's going to be big enough from your end, but I'm just going to open this up a bit, right? Just so we can see it. If you look at this up here, I have work, I have web. Here I don't have work, I don't have work, and nothing is written as web. Okay. So one thing that I wanted to take note of here quickly is that if I am licensed for Copilot, the Microsoft 365 Copilot license assigned to the account that I'm signed in here, I'm going to see the Copilot charts. And then, I'm going to see the Copilot work, and then I will see web. But because this account is not licensed for Copilot, so what it means is that if you are having Microsoft Entra tenant, then you are going to have access to this. Now, if you have the Copilot license, you have like an extension, and I'll just do something also, just so we can buttress these points like real quick. If I come here and I say go to Word, that's easier for me, right? And then let me just move this guy here. Okay, let me just wait for it to load. Let me not rush anything. And then unfortunately, this is asking me to sign in afresh. Let me see if I can quickly do that. Hope it's going to pick the right account. Yes, this one. Okay, so if you look at it, if I bring up like a new document, maybe just this one, you will see that I don't have Copilot anywhere here. Just take note of that. Then I'm dragging this away. I'm coming to this one where I have work and web, and then I'm clicking on Word, right? And then let's say I am coming to, I need to just sign in quickly. This one. Okay, so I'm going to open any of my random documents that I played with in this tenant. Let's see. Waiting for it to load. Okay, employee letter summary, no, that's not one. Maybe I'll just do document 10. I'm not really sure where it's in document 10. I'm sure it's not something confidential. So if I do that, you would find out something here. One, I have Ask Copilot up here, right? Here. And I have Copilot summary here, Copilot insights, discussion, and then also here I will see Copilots. Okay, so now this place where I don't have that, I only have access to the Copilot chat because I am not licensed for Copilot in this account. But because I am licensed for Copilot here, it followed me to my Microsoft Word. If I go to other applications by clicking on the app launcher and I go to, I don't even know the one I want to go to, as common as forms, right? Let me just say forms. Let me just say forms, more applications. I could do forms.office.com. Just trying to look for one other application where we can maybe just pick this up, right? I'm telling you how Copilot follows you if you have the Copilot license, right? And then because I am signed in here, let me check the account I'm signed in with. Good, so I am licensed in that account. If I come to new forms, right, it is following me down to forms to say, describe what I want to do here, right? So this, at this time, it is saying this because I have the Copilot license. If I come to this other place, just to quickly compare another application, right? If I just do forms.office.com, I think it's form.office.com instead of going the other route. So you will see that I don't have that feature in the forms that is going to open here for me because I do not have the required license to have that in forms. So I'm going to do new forms, or new form rather. You would find out that I don't have that feature where it is saying that I should describe what I want to. Now, also, remember that I'm signing into the Chrome browser, right, with my Entra account, and then I'm having option for Copilot chats, even though I don't have Copilot license, right? Now, if I come to my Edge browser, right? If I come to my Edge browser, bringing up my Edge browser here, I will also see by default this Copilot chat here integrated into Microsoft Edge browser, right? That is loading. And apart from that, right, apart from this one that I have here, I could also you can see I'm having work and web. Maybe I'm signing with an account. Yeah, I'm signing with an account that I have license on. So you can see it right from here. I'm having the same work and web, right? And then I also have Copilot here at the middle of the screen, which is like the Copilot chat. And I'm going to open Microsoft Edge again that does not have license assigned, right? So I'm going to pick this, and then I'm just going to pick a personal account now. But let's just wait for this to load, and then we see what that Copilot chat is here. So without me signing into office.com, you already see that I have this here. If I click on that, it just takes me like right deep in there to show me work and the web. So now, if I go to another browser that I don't have license, say like this one, right? I'll also have the, okay, these are just doing some bit of ceremonies. Just close them out. So I will see Copilot by the far right hand side, and I can click on it. So if I do that, it's going to show me something like this. And with this, a lot has to be considered. So when we talk about the responsible AI, then we'll know that here we can, even from here, do like a dictation for it to pick our voice and then pick up sound and give us responses. I clicked, I don't know what happened. So it's identify me that I'm signed in. You can see I don't have work or web right here. And then here also, if I click on it, it will just open Copilot chat for me. What I want you to distinguish in all of this I'm doing is here you can see the example I have. I have option to put a voice to say, I want you to do this for me. So it's going to, so that is.
Hey there, I'm Copilot, and I'm here to chat with you just like a friend. You can ask me anything, share your thoughts, or even speak in different languages. Feel free to change more settings as you like. Let's get started. What's on your mind today?
Okay, so I don't know if I shared my sound, but what you heard is like an interaction I'm having with the Copilot integrated into the Microsoft 365 in the Edge browser, right? So these areas that you can see Copilot in action, like that are generally available as part. So either from the that have, I want to close this, that does not have license, right? This one, does it have? I think it does. So I will go to the one that does not have license first, because that's the one I want us to concentrate in terms of Copilot charts from the beginning, and later we can dive off. So now this is the Copilot that comes with my Microsoft Entra, right? So I will take us back. Then we'll come back to Microsoft.com. Let's go look at something there. Adoption.microsoft.com. Because there's something around Copilot charts, right? There's something around Copilot charts. So if you come here, then you go to M35 Copilot, and then also you come down to Copilot charts, right? There's something I just want us to take note of here. Though there are lots, right? But we'll just try to, is it implementation guide? I think it is introduction charts, introducing to Microsoft 365 charts. Okay, this is it. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Said, our ambition is to empower everyone, every employee with a co-pilot, and to transform every business from process with agents. From this to this, companies are going big with Microsoft 365 Copilot and agents, uncovering key scenarios that can deliver real return on investment. Now, organizations of all sizes are looking to scale their AI transformation. And I think this should be something that will motivate you as a trainee here to go and look for how to upskill your AI skills, right? And realize the enterprise-wide return on investment that come with broad adoption. We've spoken about adoption. Today, Microsoft introduced a new offering that add pay-as-you-go to the existing free chat. So if you want to explore the other functions that come with the paid services, then you can decide to go for the what's it called, the pay-go or the pay-as-you-go option to add to what you have seen to be the free, which we are going to make use of now. Because there are some things that the Copilot charts alone will not be able to do. Like in terms of the integration to the other applications, it will not be able to do that. And I think with agents, it also has some limitation. I was able to build some agents with a free version, and then some failed for me when I was trying to do that. So Copilot license is $30 per user per month, and it's an add-on license normally. But if you want to go for the pay-as-you-go service, you can go for it. But one thing I want you to identify here is that there is free charts, right? So beyond the web browser, beyond the the Edge browser, beyond the Office 365, I think I need to finish this statement. Free for Microsoft 365 commercial customers. Copilot charts enable, so it's free for all commercial customers. The charts, the Copilot chat feature that we just see is available to everyone who sign into Office.com. But there is a table that really shows like what you need to know about the Microsoft 365 Copilot charts. They're free, right? then plus the consumption model, which is talking about the pay-as-you-go model, and then the Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is $30 per user per month. So, but beyond the web browser, right, and beyond the Office.com access, it is also pre-built into all Windows 11 devices now. So if you are using Windows 11, you're also going to see Copilot as an application that is built into Windows for you to make use of. So that said, we're just going to be looking at what anyone who has an Entra account will be able to have access to, right? So, and this is it, right? And it is saying here that I know that I don't have license here. That's why you don't see the work and the web here. Please, so take note of it. And really, you can explore this beyond this training yourself to go look through what is possible that even I may not have seen myself, right? That you can look at. You know, the more you play with these things, the better you become at it, and you can really become a pro before you know it. But there are what are called starter prompts, which we are, when we build our own agents, now we are going to see starter prompts, right? That we can pre-built. So what this is saying is that analyze the text in the following and make suggestion on how to move it. Now, what is it saying? This text here is a placeholder. It is suggesting that, okay, maybe you have a document that is sitting in your local machine, and then you want this document to be analyzed, and then the text and then following and when they say what's it called now, analyze the text and make suggestion on how to improve on it. So it's just basically saying that you should do this, and then you should put in something that you want it to like. These are just placeholders, but let's not stress about that. And this is saying that monitor industry news, prepare a brief of today's news from the, maybe that's going to be like the URL industry regarding, you're going to put the topic that you want to look at. Then this is going on holidays. Write some funny out of office emails response to use while I am on vacation. Now we speak about this. If you were using the paid version, you could actually go do this from your Outlook directly, and from by next week, the trainer is going to cover that for you. So you're going to write something for this. You have to now copy it from here, because this does not have like an integration with your what's it called, your office applications directly. So write some funny out of office email responses to use while I am on vacation, right? So maybe we'll use this now, but I'm just trying to look into the other starter prompts, right? So rewrite this to sound more professional and less verbose. So this is like you have you have like a write-up, and then you're trying to give it to Copilot to say, hey, help me rephrase it. And then this is highlight differences. So compare these files and group by differences in formatting structure. I think this is a very good one, honestly. So this one is code faster, write a Python script. So this is just going to help you write a Python script to maybe generate a QR code to for complimentary card. Let's just say write a Python to, maybe now it's saying maybe you just put something there, right, to see, to generate a QR code for a complimentary card. So let's even see what's that going to do for us. Okay, I think something is the issue here. I think that's any other code reader. Okay, I mean, it's just bringing up a QR code for me. I wish we can scan this and let's know what is inside of it, right? I think, like Lekon mentioned, you need to be very precise and then be descriptive as much as possible. So let me just see if I have a QR code scanner here on my phone. I don't think I have any here in this phone. Let's see. I don't have one here. So if you can scan it from your end, you may want to drop it on the chat for us to know what the output is, right? So I will just quickly go back home. So let me see. Okay, so this is to start a new prompt, right? So, but what I wanted to say to look at is, okay, so this is actually refreshing, right? And then, so we're going to say write funny out of office, write me funny out of office emails when I am on vacation on the 30th of June. Okay, so this is just me putting that into the prompts, right? Saying, hi, I'm currently out of office on vacation, perfecting my turn and my ability to ignore emails. I'll be back on, insert the date. So if I could put the dates like a comprehensive to say I'm going out on this and coming back on this, then it will actually take note of those. You can see it gave me like 4 different options. So just imagine that this is for free. And then one other point that I want us to quickly bring up is the part of analyzing file, summarizing documents, right? So I can decide to come here, click on the add content. I can decide to upload from my device or attach a cloud file that is from my OneDrive. So I'm just going to do this, right? And then I'm going to pull, I don't even know if I have a document that can be used for such. Okay, so we can maybe, I'm trying to see if I can have like a very amended, no, not that. I'm just wanting to look at something that is really brief so that it can, let me see. So let's just bring this, I know that is big, right? So, and this is about, so this is the overview guide that we had open. So I will just say that agent overview guide. So what I want to do is I want to say summarize these documents and let me know the key points of action to deliver a training to beginners in AI skill. So let's see what it's going to do for us. So it's still uploading that document, right? And I feel it's too big and that failed. So I just want to bring up like another one quickly, just to show us how it evaluates documents, because we still have a lot to cover for today. So I will just do this and I will do upload. Let me check if I have some files on my desktop. Emerging technologies in cloud environments. Okay, so let me see. That's going to be big also. Then, okay, so let's just pick this. Hopefully it's not too big. Okay, it's not too big. Let's say summarize these documents and note the key points. I think that also is trying to load, but so that we don't waste our time. So if you can get files, right, you just have the patience to wait for it. Once it's fully uploaded, right, you can really summarize what you want to achieve, and that will just come up for you, because I'm seeing that my connection is delaying and I don't really have like a small file that I can quickly pick up. So you can really work with documents this way. So that's for Copilot charts, really, for the ones that are free, right? So we'll come into here also. If you check up here, you can see agents, right? Even with the free version, you can see agents. So if you click on get agents, right? So if you click on Get Agent, what's going to do for you is it would show you all agents available for you. There are agents that are Microsoft's built. There are others that are third-party built agents that you can use. And you also have the option to create your own agents. But I discovered that some I was able to create and some other ones failed. So I can't see anything on your screen. Oh, let me stop sharing and share again. So you can let me know if you can see my screen now, please. Joan. John, just confirm if you can see my screen now. Still no. If any other person can see my screen, please say yes so that I will know if it is a general issue or if I think Lillian, I think you may need to leave briefly, John, and join back because I think a lot of persons can see my screen. So if you come to agents, right, you would see agents, like you will see a lot of them. This is Abi, your AI-powered digital procurement assistant, and they are all here. You have a lot of them that you can check if you have access to use them. Partner onboarding, you have Perfect Wiki, you have, and then you have brief explanation of what these agents are doing, right? So these are agents generally. When you come down here to list out the Microsoft agents for you, right? The ones that are built by Microsoft. If you have access to those, you have them here, right? But these are the agents generally that you can decide to adopt. Then the popular ones also, let's see what's going to be unpopular. So you have popular agents here. So what happens is that, for example, if I want to say use, which one is coming to my hand now? Maybe Rootly. Let me see if I'm going to be able to use this. I'm just going to double click on it, right? I'm clicking already and I'm expecting it to load. I think it's just here. It was just trying to take time to respond. So now it is saying that Rootly works across teams, and then what's going to be there for me, then additional purchase may be required. So you see this, it's like I have to pay for it. So if you also go down to check, you may be able to see free ones that you can use. Let's just try another one and see if so additional purchase may be required. So all these are just requiring us to, so let's just come to agents and see. Let's check the first one. But we'll really go into the paid account and see how it is. So let's click on add and see what happens in this case. So we saw add here, and we are clicking on add, and it is one penny agents. And if you want to play the video, you can really play it. That means that one is free. I can use it. Okay. So that is, I think that should be loading up now. Yeah, this is it. So now that free account, I'm saying, what can you do? I'm asking the agents, what can you do? Just so I know what it can do. So you may want to explore the other agents and see the ones that will give you option to add, and then would also give you option to quickly use them, right? And check what they do. So this is responding to me. Say this is one page. That's the name of the app or the agent, right? I can assist you with a variety of tasks and provide information on many projects or many topics. Here are some of the things I can do. One, answer question. I can provide information on wide range of topics from general knowledge to specific queries. General content, I can create poems, stories, and all of that. Summarize documents, so the same thing that Copilot chat could do. I can summarize important documents and communication, draft emails and documents. I can help you write draft for emails. I can search for information. Example, if you need help with writing a poem or a story, if you have a document that needs summarizing, if you need to draft an email or meeting invite, I can help you. So all these engagement, feel free to ask me anything, any question and all of that. So if I say who created you, let's see if we have a question. So this is just out of my own imagination. So you can actually do that too, just to find out. I was created by a team of developers and researchers who specialize in artificial intelligence and natural language processing. They designed me to assist users with various tasks and provide information on what range of topic. How can I assist you further? So if I want to ask, when were you created? When were you created? So I can go on because of what is called the natural language processing, right? So you can really try out a lot of things. I was created by a team and it's giving me who specialize in this. So I will say, when were you created? So this question, they designed me to assist. So it's giving me the same repeated answer for this. So that these are observations, right? So you can see they're always going to be up here for you. And then you can use them in Teams as well if your admin permits it. And if at any point you don't need any particular agent, you just come to uninstall the agent and then it leaves your platform, right? So if I were you, take time to explore to see how these agents are available for me. So the next thing I want us to try in the free version of Ask to Copilot is trying to create an agent. So like I mentioned, maybe because I've not taken the time to know which of the agents can be created and which of the which available accounts and the ones that that will require the subscription license, because I know that I was able to pick some. So remember, we went to get agents and then now uninstalled agents. We went to get agents and then we saw the agents that were available, the popular ones, the ones that were free for us to use and all of that. So now create an agent would come up with a partial kind of access to Copilot Studio. But what it's going to do is that it will tell you, and this is where the adoption really comes in, right? The adoption of Copilot or Copilot agent overview guide. So this is where I will explain this to us. So because if you come to this, you will see something like career coach, you see something like customer insights assistant, you see idea coach and all of that, right? So what are those, right? So that will bring us to this particular slide now. So what are those? This is saying that writing coach. So these are examples of agents templates in Microsoft 365 charts. So idea coach provide detailed feedback on writing, help change the tone of message translated. Remember how we got this from adoption.microsoft.com, and then translate text and this. Then idea coach is here. Then prompt coach is also here. Career coach is also there, right? A lot of agent examples. And then when you come here, you also have onboarding buddy, and then you have resume reviewer, you have contract label review, you have research assistants, you have policies, all of that, right? So now when you come down here, like you see a lot of it, then when you come here is when you see the steps that you need to follow through while you are building your agents. Now, access agents in Microsoft 365 chat, which is where we are. Then number 2 is for us to define the agents, right, that you want to use. And then the next thing is that then you add your organization data. Then I think this is optional, right? This is outrightly optional because you can decide to make the web like your access to the knowledge base that you want to make use of. Then you have step 4 to define agents behavior, right? And then you have try your agent and add additional customization, and then you publish the agent and you share the agent to people, and the step 8 is for you to use the agent, right? So these are the steps that you can follow to build an agent. And really, do you know the good thing about this is that if you come down to this place, if you want to build an idea coach agent, you can really copy from here, right? Not even this. I think there is something that I need to look at. It should be here. Yeah. Onboarding body, for example. Example or example description. What would you like it to make? Now, what I'm trying to say is that from here, you have resume reviewer, and then just like that, right? So if you come back here now, you have two options. You have option to describe what you are looking for. That means you are going to write a description for what you want, the kind of agent you want to create, or you want to configure. So if you want to configure, what you want to do is you want to determine the agent name. So let me just quickly call this one textilers. Then we bring this one back to this screen. I hope I'm not going to be causing nuisance. So we're just going to call it, what do we just quickly try to build from the free version? I think resume reviewer will not be bad, right? So we are saying that, but that means that we need a SharePoint site, but we'll not go into that. We'll just show you like the surface of it. Can we just use this example? Now let's look at it. The naming is what we've done. Resume reviewer, for example. So now to emphasize, be avoided, right? So these are like the instruction. Resume reviewer, this is the description, because you need to do a description, and then you need to give it an instruction on what way it needs to communicate with users, right? Friendly and professional and funny and all of that. You can decide to choose that. Then starter prompts, you can decide to put starter prompts like we saw in the other one. Then example to ask, right? So let's just see if we can just come up with something really simple. And then we just say, we just take textilers, Microsoft AI training. Or it's not going to take all of that. So let's just say Copilot. So I'm expecting, yeah, let's just do it that way. Then the description, I don't know why my screen is freezing. So the description is, this is for you to know what the agent does, right? So we can just say, this is built for textilers, let's say trainees who would want to venture into M365 Copilot. Let's just leave it at that. Then the instruction is, what instruction do you want to give to it? Because this is important. You want to tell it what to do. Provide answers to, it's not just typing, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why my screen is being frozen. See that I've opened too many things. Okay. Answers to students at any time they request for it. It's a bit slow for me. I think it's just on this page only. Okay, it's just trying to save the changes up here. Okay, let's see. So I think it's the auto saving up here that is causing that lag, right? Okay, so I will have to put in, let's just say be friendly and professional. I wanted to give more context, but I think my network is not friendly.
All right, Joseph, I think you have cleared it already. I think it's cleared. I mean, what you were typing. Oh, except you want to move your
I just
cursor.
typed in again, thank you. Yeah, so yes, so I think it just took it now. MJ, welcome. I didn't know you're around already. So for me, I don't want to go into my SharePoint to bring any knowledge base for now, right? But I just wanted to use the public internet because the next one we want to build is going to be the one that we source information from outside of the organization. I mean, that will source information only from the organization and to a specific website. That way, we are going to block the web search and just restrict it to a particular SharePoint site. So if you want to put a startup prompt, like let's just say something is not coming to mind. Let's just say, who are you? Okay, so no. Let's just put something here for us to see. Who are you? Task. And then we want to see what can you do. Okay, so that's saving up here. Okay, so I just wanted to look at it from here. It's coming up here for me now. Once this saves, then I'm going to have it here. So that is who are you? And then the next one, I think I typed another one, task, right? What can you do? Okay, so that is supposed to be there. So the next point that we're supposed to be doing now is to quickly test what we have here, since we just wanted to have access to information from the internet. This is just trying to, yeah. So once we do this, if we just maybe ask, who are you, right? Either we are typing it this way. Let's see the response is going to give to us. Okay, so have we given it a name? I expect it to pick up this name from here, right? But it's giving us I'm a machine, not a human, but an AI. Okay, let's see. Let's see, what is your name? Okay, so I think my prompt was not correctly spelled. See, this is Textile as Copilot. How can I assist you today? So, so this is just for me to show you that it is possible just because I gave it this name. And then another thing I can do is for me to bring this up and give it a logo if I want to change that. And I will just click on create. But my major focus today is not on the very free one here. I want to look at what we can do with. I know you can also do this with, you can also create this from a SharePoint site and limit the knowledge to what you have in a particular SharePoint site. But in one of my tenants, I have already populated some policies, some HR policy in one of the channels, right? In one of the SharePoint sites that I really want us to use for today's demo. So this is the agent, right? So if just the same way you could set permission to a link from your OneDrive, you can go to the settings and choose who should have access to the agent. You can decide to say anyone can have access to it. You can say specific people. That means you want to type the name of the persons within your organization who should have access to this. But for this, I'm just going to do this. And if I save this agent now, it's going to be available for me. So this does not make a complete sense, but I'm just trying to use it to show you that from a tenant where I don't have license, then I was able to create an agent from there just because I have access to the Copilot chat. Now, what I want us to do now is to really build a formidable project, right? Where we would really be asking like real life questions about our environment or about a particular task within the environment for HR team. So I want to come to, so this one is just trying to come up. So, open, right? So this is the agent now live. So I could go to Teams to, so the agent is going to be up here, right? For me to use anytime I want to use it. And if I don't need it anymore, I can just delete it. So the two tasks that I put there to say task, what can you do, is just the starter prompts that I added there, right? So this is just going to work the same way we saw it, right? Inside of, looks like I can't chat about this because of we didn't provide like substantial information. But let's now go into where I have an environment where I have already have information available in the SharePoint site to build a HR bot, a HR agent, and then use the detail that is provided by the agent overview guide to follow through real life demonstration of what we just try to do now. And I hope that's going to make sense to us. So I would try to bring that up now. That is going to be this one. Okay, no problem. I'm just going to do this and I'll bring this here. So I will look for the site. Let me close this first. I'll look for the sites. I think this is a site. This is a website where I have, a SharePoint site. So if I just come back to the SharePoint site, the home page of the SharePoint site, just to show you the information that I have there. And while that is opening too, I want to quickly come to office.com. So, so on the SharePoint site, so listen now, we've left the theoretical conversations and just assumptions to like real life situations. So if I come to site content, right? I'll come to site contents. Is that loading or not loading? Okay, so it's loading for me. So this is me here. So I want to come to not get agents this time. I want to come to create, right? Okay. So by this time we want to configure and we really want to follow the instruction on the agent overview guide to holistically. So I'm pulling it up here now just so we can see it. Why do you not want to go? Okay. So I think I would just do something like this, please, and then something like this so that we don't go back and forth. So apologies if you do not see it very well. Let me try to. So we may just be doing something around onboarding, right? So we are going to be calling these agents textiler onboarding, right? So I'm going to be doing it this way, bringing up the name, textiler onboarding, right? So the description, is what we have here. So what is it saying? Saying that you are, so put it here, you are an onboarding, you are textiler onboarding.
Maybe for the textile, we can just write it TX alone so that we can maximize. Maybe TX
Okay.
just for textiles.
Okay. your textile onboarding, Booty agent for new hires and all of that. So now the naming convention to be emphasized, please, clear and concise. So this is the instruction. So this is the instruction to say you should be, please be clear and concise and avoid long answers where possible. Refer primarily to the knowledge shared with you. So the knowledge shared with you is the part that's really very important. Okay. So if you come down this way, this speaking to knowledge base. So now for our the one we just did from just assumption, we have it only source information from the web. We didn't say it should get particular information from a particular place. So what we want to do, just to give a summary of it, is we want to now go to the SharePoint site, and I'll show you what I really have on that SharePoint site. So on the SharePoint site here, I have documents, and inside documents, I have policies, I have compensation benefits, confidentiality, what's it called? That should be protection policy. And then I have employee code of conduct. I have a lot regarding HR dealings, right? So if I come back to home, I'll really see the link to the site or the site URL. So I'll just copy the site URL. I'll come back to this, and then I want to use that as a knowledge base. Okay. So I want that to be, hold on, let me come back to this. Yeah, that's my home page, right? So employee onboarding, that's supposed to pick that. Let me see. Let me see. Why is not picking that site? Something went wrong. What could have gone wrong? Let me see if I can just take technology HRD sites. Let me take it down to this place only and see. Excuse me. Let me see. Okay, I think it has picked it. Excuse me. Just, yeah, HR homepage. Let's pick that. Oh, no, why is it not? Let me see if I'm going to pick it this way then. I think it's ABC HR. Yeah, this is it. Selected that already. Okay, so cool. So these are the documents I want to use. So I could be selecting them one after the other. But what if there were more? I'll just click here once, right? And I'll click on select. So it is going to pick all the documents, right? So so I've seen the list of the documents here, plus 14. All of them are here, right? So the starter prompt, I may want to start with policy. Let me just see how many policies. So that's auto saving policies do we have? Question mark. So it's probably loading that. And then, okay. So just to mention, the starter prompts, the maximum you can have 6. Okay. the maximum starter prompt you can have is 6. So I wanted to write how many. So I can come back to remove my A from there. And then in my number 2, I want to say confidentiality. And I want to see what does the confidentiality policy says. I've typed that. I'm just waiting for it to pick it up. So really, you can come to add up to 6. So you can click on this to add starter prompts until you have 6 of them, but you can have more than 6 the last time I checked. So I'm just waiting for this to pick that up, and then we can move on. And the time is really flying, because we also need to touch the, okay. So I'm just using these 2, right? And then once this saves, I'm just going to create so that we can move on to other things. Ring here, so maybe my network is not very fast. So I was supposed to test. The next step was for me to test. So I just want to click on this starter prompts. So I think it's still my many. I couldn't remove the A, but I'm thinking that the system will understand it and give me a response accordingly. So because it's trying to comb through the document the first time, right? So it could take a while for the beginning. So it's saying that I have introduction to HR policy. So we have a comprehensive set of policy to ensure fairness, compliance, and the well-being of employee within the organization, right? And here is a list of the key policies. So if you go to check that SharePoint site, introduction, recruitment, and all of that, that is how they will be arranged for you. I don't want us to take more time to go look at that. So once I'm fine, and then the policy will be here, and it is based on the level of access that I have, right? If I have the view permission, then I'm going to be able to get it. So this is the, so if you wanted to be able to source information from the web also, you can do this. Otherwise, if you turn it off, you are seeing that the information that this agent is ever going to provide should remain within what is available within the SharePoint site. So we are going to hit on create, and that will just take a while, and then it will be created for us. So while that is trying to get created, and before we test that, we just want to come back to our, just want to quickly come back to our slides so that we can continue our conversation on our side again. So we're in chats, so don't forget. So we're here, Microsoft 365 chats, and that's what took us up onto those conversations. So from the current slide. Okay, so we've seen chats for free accounts. We've seen it in on the browser, right? Signing into any account that has Entra license or subscription. And then we also went to see from the Microsoft Edge browser, right? And I want to look at the same thing from free accounts. And then I also told you that we'll have access to that on Windows, right? So if you're also on the mobile, excuse me, if you're also on mobile, you have access to Copilot on mobile phone as well. So you can go to your Play Store to download Copilot, and it's very useful. So now, while we are rounding off, before we take questions, it's a conversation around Microsoft's commitment to responsible AI. So Microsoft is committed to responsibly design and build AI technologies, right? So there are 6 principles that you always hold on to. So if you are writing the AI 900, you have to know these 6 principles: fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness. And what is the meaning of all this? AI system, for the fairness, AI system should be designed to treat all individuals fairly and avoid discrimination based on protected characteristics. That is unfairness. AI should be designed to treat all individuals fairly. Then speaking to reliability and safety, AI systems should perform reliably and safely, right? Minimizing the risk of harm and then ensuring accurate outcome from whatever prompts you are giving it. Then privacy and security, AI should protect user privacy and security. And we handled this when we spoke about the Microsoft Graph. And then we are saying that AI should protect user privacy and security, handling data responsibly and securely. And this is a very major concern. I think this is what SC 401 is hammering on, the privacy and security part of it. Then AI systems should be designed to empower and encourage diverse communities, ensuring they are accessible. Accessibility is very important when it comes to inclusiveness and beneficial for everyone. So you see where we were able to input voice, to speak to Copilot to help us output something that could be useful to those who are blind, right? So AI systems should accommodate people with disability as well. Then transparency. Without even doing theoretical conversation, I hope I'll be able to quickly show you something when it comes to transparency, right? Just very quickly. If I come to, okay, so go to agents. So that's our agents, right? So we'll come back to that. So if I come to office.com, I just want to get to somewhere that I will show you something around. Oh, am I supposed to go to this place? No, I'm supposed to go to Teams, right? Teams, where you have output from a meeting. And then because you have Copilot license, which I think we'll be covering next week, then you are able to have what is called meeting notes, right? Meeting recap, right? That's the right term, meeting recap. Now, from your meeting recap, right? Let's say this. From your meeting recap, you will see transcription. And so let me view this recap. I'll show you something real quick. So if I see AI notes, right? And then if I copy this now, because it's different from my transcription is long, but my AI note is just precise, right? I can click on this to copy. Do you know what? If I come here now, if I come here, I just pasted it, I'm dragging it over here. You will see at the top, it will say generated by AI, right? Be sure to check for accuracy. The point I'm trying to say is that this consciousness that is telling you, because this is a meeting recap, yes, it can be correct, yes, but it's telling you that you should be aware that it is AI generated. That's talking about the transparency. So AI systems should be transparent, should be understandable and explainable, allowing users to understand how they work and decisions, like how the system works. To say you have somebody prompting, and then the prompting is going to the LLM, and the LLM is reaching out to the Microsoft Graph, and the Microsoft Graph is then checking for privacy and security, and then releasing information to the prompter, right? This is telling us how it works. And even when we have output from this, and we ask the system, like remember when we were asking a particular agent, and it says, I am a human, I'm not a human being, I am an AI, right? And then when you now say, what is your name? Then before you told us the name, because I was prompting wrongly, right? So accountability, individuals and organizations should be accountable for the development and the deployment of AI system, ensuring that they are held responsible for their action. So that said, I will come back to the agents that we look at. So these six principles should be taken note of. So I'll come back here, and this is our agents unavailable. That is funny, right? So I was expecting that to come up here. Did I copy the URL? Thinking if I did. That's not the URL. So it failed finally, but it was supposed to work. But I know I have done like a lot of things regarding this. For it to have failed is just one of those things that can happen when you're on a live session and things don't want to go as planned. But the steps that we followed are the steps that you can use to build your own agents. And the good thing is that I believe that we have access to the system already, and then we can, okay, it's even here. It was just trying to act up. So let's just pick on our agent, textilers onboarding. So you can see how many policies do we have. Then what is the leave? What did the leave policy say? So let's say I'm just a new guy that was onboarded, right? And then I'm saying, what did the new policy say, right? So what is it going to tell me? It's going to go through that document. And you know, one very good thing about it is that it will say the leave and time off policy provide guidelines for employee leavers and during their work purpose. This is this, and this is this, this is this. Now it is giving you the document. It gives me a link. So if you click on this, you see the documents, right? And then let me just say, how can I apply for leave? Unfortunately, we did not go through the documents back there, just for you to know the contents that they really have, right? But I'm just trying to show you how this agent is already working. So now it's saying that to apply for leave, you can follow the guideline here. Purpose, this application process, request submission, this and this, and do all of that. So it will give me the policy. So if I click here now, it's going to just give me the policy document that speaks to. So these were just generated mainly or solely for this kind of training. So it's not like a detailed kind of things. You know, it was even Copilot that also generated this for me, right? So coming back here, I just want to show you something also. If an agent is already existing, right, and then you want to edit the agent, you can still come back to settings. Maybe you want to change the instruction.
To do it now, you have to go to Copilot Studio.
Okay, so I was able to edit from here without even going to Copilot Studio. Maybe something changed.
Okay.
Because I could come here and even change the instruction. Basically, you've seen how it works, and you can try your hands on a lot of things. And you can share these agents too from Teams and have interactions with it. So in our next training, we'll be exploring the agents in different Microsoft 365 workloads, and I'm sure that within that time, we'll be able to see how agents work in Microsoft Teams, and then how we can also use M365 Copilot in different workloads. So thank you very much, everyone, for staying put in. So I want to officially say thank you for your time again. And we hope that we are learning gradually. And then by next week, we'll be having Solomon to come walk us through the workloads. I mean, the M365 in different M365 Copilot in different applications in the M365 space. So thank you very much, everyone.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
All right. Thank you very much, Joseph. So just to add to what Joseph is saying, I want to believe that by now all of us already have like an idea of what we can build with agents. So because what we want you to do, we don't want to give you like a topic for you to build, to come up with an agent to build. We want you to come up with your own idea of an agent that you are going to build. In the next couple of weeks, which is going to be in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we expect that you would have built something at the end of these, maybe by the end of the 6th week, that you can show us. So just like this, I mean, this foundation that is set for you right now is like for you to have an idea or to start thinking in your own mind to say, oh, this is what I want to come up with an agent. We don't want to give you a specific tag. So we want to see who will come up with the best kind of agent that is going to work. Well, that's the challenge we want to give to you. So because it's going to be an individual project, and then we'll select maybe the first 2 3 when we have review with you what your agents, that I mean the agents you've created, what it looks like. So please just have an idea. With this background that has been set for you, start thinking in your mind what is the best kind of agent I can build or that can solve a problem. Just think of it and then start building it gradually, because by the 6th week, we're going to be reviewing your agents. Like we said, that forms part of your project, and then we're going to select the first 3 best agents, and then we'll do like a final competition for you guys, and then see who really wins. Please be at the back of your minds, one of the prizes to win for this is also a fully discounted voucher, a fully discounted certification voucher. So you want to make sure that you have the best kind of prompts, you have the best kind of agents that we can look at. So please just bear that at the back of your mind.